Good evening, it's George Heller, West 80 South Pole Farm. Well, we've made it to the new 160, and we've got some guests. We just wrapped up our second grazing school on the farm, and everything went really well. We had all three of these guys speaking here. They went over a lot of great topics. Everybody was really engaged. The crowd loved it. It was a great success, I believe. I'm just eternally grateful to have this piece of land and be able to run it with this type of management, and have the cattle that I have, the sheep I have, and just really, I don't know, just tickled right now, really. And glad to have these guys here to share in it and encourage me and help me move forward. It's really cool. It's really cool to start developing friendships with people you would have never thought about before, and you never would have met if you wouldn't just put yourself out there. Takes a little bit of courage, but once you get yourself put out there, anything's possible. 4 years ago, I went to my first grazing school at this guy's place, and I met this guy over here on the end. And 4 years later, now I got 2 farms built up, and we're on it. I'm just on fire, and now we're having our own grazing schools and able to get these 2 to come up to do the talking, and been meeting guys like Jordan along the way, and the fine gentleman behind the camera, and
don't forget him.
Yeah, he's the steady one up back there.
Good old Clifford.
The even keel. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you all think about the weekend so far?
I just want to make a comment about this fellow. We have a lot of people coming to our grazing school, and this fellow was sitting on the picnic table after the school was over, and you could tell there were some things going through his head. And so I just walked over to him. We had a big class. I hadn't had a chance to really sit down with George, and I did a YouTube video with this fellow, and I could just tell interviewing him, he had a lot of passion. He was excited about his, the future, what he had in front of him. And he took what he learned at the school, and he came home and he did something with it. Not only did he did something with it, he knocked it out of the park. I mean, you look at this farm here, this guy works full time. He owns his own concrete company. He's doing this on the side. And George, you remind me of myself when I was just getting started. I had a full-time job. I did it after work. I put on a coon light at night. You've done some of that.
Yeah, I've put in the extra time to get this done, pushed really hard.
Has it been worth it?
It's been worth every second. It's been worth every second, every penny spent. Every penny I've spent on, I've spent thousands of dollars going to grazing schools. Well, it's saved me tens and maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's just seeing it all coming to fruit, or
yeah,
starting to
and
see
now
the
I'm
potential
seeing
now.
it all the time I've spent learning and developing relationships and networking. It's all coming together now, and it's just this weekend just sent me, cloud 9.
Yeah, and you're up in northern Minnesota.
We call this central Minnesota. There's still another 4 hours
I
of
felt like
Minnesota.
we're north.
There's still another 4 hours
Folks,
before
we
you
came
hit
11
Canada.
hours from Clark, Missouri, Rucker, Missouri. It's north.
Yep.
Northern Minnesota.
Yeah, and I'm 5 hours south, and I'm still in Minnesota.
Yep, we call him the banana, down in the banana belt down there, the banana belt of Minnesota.
Arctic Circle up here.
Yep. But no, it's been great. Yeah, I've taken a lot of principles that they've worked in Missouri, and I brought them up here and adapted them to our environment. And that's a big deal, being adaptive. That's a big thing that Jordan and I and Clifford, we talk a lot about being adaptive,
And observing.
And
observe
observant.
what works.
Yep. We like to joke about it a lot, but we're serious too.
We try to make a plan, but we're ready to plan to adapt.
Right.
Because it's going to happen.
Yep.
Something's going to happen, and you can't let it get you
Tell
down.
us about this guy.
Yeah, so this guy here, same thing, watching YouTube, just like I met this guy. This guy shows up on there. He's grazing cattle in Minnesota in February. How is he doing that? Okay, I got to meet this guy. So I got on the old comment section, started mouthing off. He responded, and now we've been able to become friends, and I've been down to his place a couple times. Went down there, he invited us down for his school and did a little bit of talking down there, and it's just these relationships that you can build going to these schools is so worth it. I mean, yeah, sometimes the entrance fee is a little bit, but I mean, it's just, if I would have never put myself out and drove 11 hours down to Rucker to do that first grazing school, I'd probably still be just miserable thinking about pouring concrete the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to do something, you got to just get out and do it.
That's one thing about George is he's a doer. He's not just a talker or a dreamer. Like if it's a plan, he's gonna go all at it. And that's what it takes.
Get her done.
Yeah,
Get her done.
you got to do it. So.
And so many people are hesitant to make that jump. You know, they got a cushy town job or whatever. They'd really like to try this, but they're just hesitant. And I tell people, you're never going to make a mistake until you start. And mistakes are just part of it.
And then look at the scale that George jumped on. He just got himself a 160-acre farm.
Yeah.
Started going to town on it, and here
Yeah.
he is. He's got her all ready to go for the grazing school. He push.
I'll
And
tell you, 5 years ago, we brought 6 bottle lambs home. Now we're doing this.
yeah, if you would have been 5 years ago and said to yourself you're going to be where you are today,
I would
you
have never
been
believed
like,
myself. I would have never believed it.
Nope. So get excited, guys.
Yep.
It's well worth it.
Absolutely.
Folks, if you just spend 5 minutes talking with any one of these 3 guys, you can tell that they like what they're doing, they're passionate about it, and that's why they're all successful. It is. I mean, when you love something, you're going to be good at it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I'd say the same for this guy. He's fired a lot of people up. He's responsible for a lot of people being
Yeah,
successful.
We're just sharing, you know, Jan and I have shared over the years what has worked and what hasn't worked, and we're just trying to help people.
Yeah.
Help people. We need more people on the way,
Yep.
not less.
And this weekend, I think we helped a lot of people
Yep.
get into a different set of mindset and start thinking about things a little bit differently. And that's what you got to do if you want to do something like this. So.
George, how do people get a hold of you?
Oh, well, I guess you could email me. I can put that in the description. And then
Your YouTube.
you can come on my YouTube channel. You're watching it right now, so subscribe. This is the first time I've ever asked anybody to subscribe to my channel.
Hit the like
so,
button.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Helps
do
them
all,
out.
do all that stuff. I mean, I really appreciate it. I get a charge off of people commenting on my videos. Like, I like it, and people tell me, give me compliments. That gives me fuel. So
It's a little paycheck into your heart.
That's
What
right.
you're doing, people are listening. They
Right.
appreciate it.
yeah,
And then coming to these grazing schools is the same way. It recharges you and gets you
Yes.
motivated.
yep,
Yep.
get around like-minded people and go, oh, I'm not the only weirdo out there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
I feel honored to come to your school and
I'm-
meet this fellow.
yes.
Never met him
Nice to meet
before.
you.
I'm really honored to have all you guys here again,
You bet.
and it's just made my whole year, honestly. So, all right, everybody, y'all have a good evening, and we'll catch you next time.